Terrifier 3 being released for almost a full week, here are the full spoilers for the movie. The movie starts out with Art the Clown breaking into a house, seemingly the same exact house that he broke into in the original teaser trailer. Now, the only difference between this is the fact that the girl is different. The young girl from the original teaser trailer is not the same girl that plays the girl in the movie, which I find to be a little bit weird. There's also none of that Santa clip where she walks up to him. None of that holds any premise to this whole entire movie, which I find weird because they released it as a teaser trailer. With Art the Clown breaking into the house, the young girl runs upstairs and goes to her brother's room. She tells him that Santa's here, Santa's here. He tells her to go away, yo, I'm sleeping. She then goes back downstairs to look at Art the Clown, who's taking out presents as he takes out an axe. He then walks upstairs and seemingly kills the young boy off screen, with him even saying, look, I told you, go away, I'm sleeping. Then Buddy gets axed. Art the Clown then walks into the parents' room and kills the husband, sleeping right next to the wife. Somehow she was able to stay sleeping as her husband is being axed to death right next to her. She then tries to run away from Art the Clown, which everybody does and no one really gets away, and she gets killed in one of the most gruesome ways possible. We then have the iconic scene of Art the Clown dressed as Santa eating cookies with his feet up. Buddy did dishes during this scene after he was done eating the cookies, and honestly, I found it so funny because that's so Art the Clown. He then hears a noise in the cupboard and it's the little girl. Now, it's up for interpretation, but I think she was killed off screen. We then cut to the ending of Terrifier 2, which we assume Art the Clown was dead because he was decapitated by Sienna, which we see from the original trailer, Art the Clown's body. Yeah, this police officer had no idea what he was getting into. Art the Clown's body resurrects itself and he kills the police officer, even cutting off his head and trying to wear it. Bro was on full Jeepers Creepers mode. Art the Clown then hops on the bus and goes to where Victoria is, who's in a massive psych ward, who we had no idea was now possessed by a demon. Art the Clown and Victoria then kill a bunch of people, including Chris Jericho, which I found absolutely hysterical that he was in this movie. I just wish he played a little bit more of a decent role. Like, Buddy was in the movie for maybe 45 seconds, until he was killed by Victoria and Art the Clown. They then run into a kid who's dressed like Art the Clown on the subway, and they kill him and put his suit on. The only thing that didn't make sense to me is the sequence between Terrifier 2 and the beginning of Terrifier 3. I know Terrifier 3 is based 5 years in the future, but after the cop was decapitated, Victoria broke out, and all of these people have died. Why is no one looking for Art the Clown or Victoria? Like, I get it, they can't do anything to them, but no one was looking for anyone. Art the Clown and Victoria then go to an abandoned house, seemingly sitting there for 5 years to regain their strength. I'm taking this from the idea of Art the Clown has cobwebs all over him when he sees the construction workers who came to demolish the house, who Art the Clown and Victoria, yes, then killed. In some of the most gruesome ways for a normal kill in the movie, Buddy's whole face was just pulled down. And yeah, there's a scene in this movie where Victoria uses a shard of glass to do something to herself, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I was not expecting that whatsoever, but I guess we can't rule anything out because that was genuinely insane. We then have Art the Clown running through the snow and seeing Santa. He sees Santa inside of a bar and gets super excited, meaning Art the Clown is a massive fan of Christmas and a massive fan of Santa Claus. One thing that this scene points to me is David Howard Thornton is the only person that is allowed to play Art the Clown because he gets the comedy. Having a demon killer clown be obsessed with Santa Claus is genuinely hysterical. On top of the fact that when Art the Clown goes into the bar, he sits on Santa's lap and pees all over his leg. And after this, all hell broke loose. They want Art the Clown out, pulls out a gun, kills 2 of them, and then uses liquid nitrogen to kill the guy who plays Santa Claus. Then takes a carrot out of the snowman's nose and shoves it into his face. Now, I'm telling you, Art the Clown freezes him with the liquid nitrogen and uses a hammer to break off pieces of him, dressed as Santa, wearing that guy's Santa suit. I also had to point out the fact that the girls that Art the Clown runs past in the movie got so lucky. They had no idea what they just avoided. Yeah, they got pushed down. It's okay. They were drunk anyway. But if they had given a little bit of pushback and Art the Clown wasn't in such a good mood for seeing Santa Claus, those girls would have been toast. We then cut to Sienna coming out of a mental hospital, where she's been in and out of psychiatric treatment for the last 5 years because of the events of Art the Clown, where she's picked up by her uncle. She then goes to their house, who she's going to be spending Christmas with, along with Jonathan. But Sienna still sees all of her dead friends. No matter how much medication she takes, she still sees all of her dead friends who blame her for their death, which to be fair kind of makes sense because if they weren't involved with Sienna, they would be fine. Sienna then takes her niece Gabby, who's her absolute best friend, to the mall, where they're shopping for Christmas presents for her parents, when all of a sudden Sienna sees Art the Clown, but she can't tell if she actually saw Art the Clown or if it's her medication making her hallucinate. After this, Sienna absolutely freaks out and goes to Jonathan's college. I forgot to mention, Jonathan is in college now. She meets up with Jonathan and tells him, hey, I think he's back. And Jonathan starts freaking out. He's like, what are you talking about? The meds aren't working. Like, dude, this is crazy. It's over. You gotta give it up. You can't keep reliving this. When Jonathan's roommate ends up introducing Sienna to his girlfriend, who happens to run a true crime podcast. She says some stuff to Sienna, and I'm not gonna lie, that girl absolutely deserved it. She was asking way too many questions and being way too mean about a situation that literally almost killed them. Sienna then brings up the sword to Jonathan and says, should I go get the sword? They argue about it for a little bit, but yes, Sienna does end up going to get the sword. Now, while Sienna was at the college, Art the Clown was at the mall, meaning that her delusion was not actual delusion. She was not hallucinating Art the Clown. He was really there, dressed, yes, as Santa Claus. Now, we see this from 2 different parts. We see Art the Clown's part when he's at the mall, while Sienna's at Jonathan's college. Art the Clown pretends to be Santa Claus and starts handing out gifts to a bunch of kids. Everybody seems to be having a good of time until the real Santa Claus comes back. One of the kids ends up opening a gift that wasn't an actual gift. It turns out to be a pipe bomb and explodes, killing 15 to 20 of those kids, parents, security guards, and people in the mall. Now, with Sienna being back at the family's house after digging up the sword, she hears this on the news and starts going absolutely insane because it's now confirmed the fact that Art the Clown was at the mall. She's not hallucinating, and he's back for revenge. And with her massive freakout, she forces her uncle to go pick up Jonathan at the college, which now we get the iconic shower scene. The girl from the original true crime podcast is talking to her boyfriend about how she wants to look into the eyes of a killer before they kill someone and see what she sees behind their eyes. Now, she doesn't know that Art the Clown has pulled up and he is listening from outside of the door. Bro was creeping. Obviously, these two were doing their stuff in the shower, and all of a sudden, my boy Art comes in with a chainsaw. Now, the thing most of us didn't get from the trailer was the fact when Art the Clown puts the glasses on the girl's face and smiles at her with really, really wide eyes. The reason he was doing that wasn't just for comedic relief. It was because she was saying how she wanted to look into his eyes before he killed someone, which now all makes perfect sense. Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest, the girl deserved it. She was doing way too much. She was a real mean person. She was talking to Sienna all weird. She treated Jonathan like some kind of puppy, weird. I don't know, it was too much. She deserved it. A roommate, though, what he got done to him, obviously I can't show you the actual scene. It was insane. Now, while all of this is happening, Sienna takes her medication and goes upstairs and goes to bed. She then wakes up around 1 a.m. She's hearing talking downstairs, loud voices of her aunt and uncle talking about how they want to kick Sienna out. She's got to go. She can't be around Gabby anymore. She goes downstairs and realizes it's Victoria and Art the Clown inside of the house. She then gets knocked unconscious and wakes up tied to a chair across from her aunt. She looks at the wall and her uncle has now been turned into a human Christmas tree. Bro is pinned to the wall. His body is sliced wide open and his head is at the top of the Christmas tree, like a Christmas tree star. His intestines is also wrapped around the tree, which we've seen in the poster. We just didn't know whose it was. Also in front of both of them is a table with a present that's fully wrapped. Now, mind you, this whole entire time, Art the Clown, of course, has not talked, but Victoria talks, and she talks in all different voices. She's somehow able to mimic other people's voices. Abby, Sienna, Jonathan, it doesn't matter. She could talk like all of them, which I guess is because she's an extremely powerful demon. Now, Art the Clown then unwraps the present, saying that it's Gabby's head inside of more or less a pigeon cage with mice all over it. Mother then, of course, freaks out because she thinks, oh my god, that's my daughter. They both start crying and try to break the restraints, but obviously they can't. They then do one of the most vile things I've ever seen in a Terrifier movie ever. They take a pipe, put it down the aunt's throat, break her jaw, go down her esophagus, put mice inside of the tube, light their tails on fire so they scurry down and have them eat their way out of her. All this while she thinks her daughter is dead. Well, come to find out, they then slit her throat and tell Sienna that that's not Gabby at all, but it's Jonathan, and put glasses on his face. Now, hear me out. I have a full theory, a full working theory. There is no humanly possible way they killed off Jonathan, one of our main characters in this franchise, off screen. There's no way. There's no way Jonathan is dead. They may have his glasses. Maybe they do. He ain't dead. There's no way. Victoria then grabs Gabby and brings her out. They're talking. They're like, oh, I love you, whatever, whatever. And then she says, I'm so upset that I wasn't able to give you your present. Victoria goes, oh, that's really sweet. Do you want to give her a present before I kill you? Gabby then tells her what present she wants, knowing that Sienna had wrapped the sword inside of a present box. Victoria then gives Sienna the box, but right before she opens the box, Art the Clown comes over and breaks both of her hands with a mallet. Obviously, because bro was on high alert. He was like, man, you guys got me one time. I'm not trying to get got again. Sienna then is able to open the box with her broken hands and decapitate Victoria, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how that worked, but it did. They then go into an all-out fight where it's Art the Clown with a chainsaw versus Sienna. They're going back and forth. I mean, this was an absolutely insane sequence of these two going at it, with it ending with Sienna pinning Art the Clown up against the wall with the sword. Now, she's digging this sword into him, and Art the Clown's eyes are white, they're rolling back, but he's pretty much cooked. But what a lot of people don't realize is since Victoria is such a powerful demon, at least this is what I take from it, she's such a powerful demon, her blood was going absolutely everywhere, it created a vortex hole, almost like a hell black hole, which then sucked Gabby inside of, causing her to fall to hell. And when Sienna sees this, she then rips the sword out of Art the Clown and tries to save Gabby, which of course Gabby is not saved. She falls into the pits of hell, and so does the sword that Sienna was using to fight off Art the Clown. She then turns around after Gabby falls into the hole, seeing that Art the Clown has escaped, and then she also looks down at her hands. Her hands are completely healed. Now, the reason that's a big point is because she was using the end of the sword where you would stab someone to hold and try and pull Gabby up, which means that her dad was right. We had flashbacks throughout this movie of them explaining what was going on with Sienna's dad. Not really insane backstory. We end up hearing him talk about the character that he drew for Sienna, who cannot take damage from her own sword, meaning that Sienna is technically the chosen one, and cannot be hurt by her own sword. Now it does nothing because her sword is down in hell with Gabby, and assuming Jonathan. After this whole entire fight sequence, we don't see Sienna again. we see Art the Clown waiting for a bus, where Art the Clown then gets on the bus and there's a woman reading a book called The Ninth Circle, which is a hit to Damien Leone's first film, The Ninth Circle. I've been calling it a Circle 9 for a while. It just sounds better to me than The Ninth Circle. I guess it makes more sense. And with that, he then does the little clown thing and the movie ends. Now, there is no post-credit scene, there's just a music video with Ice 9 kills, but what a lot of people don't realize is that the ending has a lot more meaning than you think. This is exactly how The Ninth Circle started. The woman on the bus is abducted. Art the Clown takes her to hell. Art the Clown is able to get his powers. More or less, that's kind of what we assume. I do have a full working theory for Terrifier 4, and I'm telling you right now, there is no way Jonathan is dead. But hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video, and if you did, don't forget to smack a like on it, that'd be greatly appreciated. Comment down below what else you guys want to see on the channel, and let me know what you guys thought of Terrifier 3 altogether, what you guys think about the Terrifier franchise. With all that being said, guys, my name is Chris, and of course, I will catch you guys on the next one.